Hello again everyone, and welcome back to the channel for what is episode number 17 in season 1 here at Williams Racing on our Road to Glory. So there isn't that many race weekends left now in this year's calendar, guys. There is only 5 races left. There is 22 races in total in a season, so the season is really coming to a head here now, coming to a close. So before we jump into today's episode, guys, we're just going to jump straight over to the R&D tree, as we do have 1,200 points at our disposal. So I will look to take the recommended upgrade, guys.
This is probably what I'd invest in.
Which is in the chassis department. So that will cost us 1,250 points, which is fine. That should leave us with around 23 points left. So we definitely don't have any more points left to use now, but we are closing the gap to Haas. Unfortunately, Scuderia AlphaTauri Honda have opened a gap a little bit to Haas, so we do have some catching to do there. So without further ado, guys, let's jump straight into the race weekend. So here we are, guys. So before I jump straight into these practice sessions here, let's just have a quick look at the messages here and the weather outlook for the weekend we have ahead of us here. So as we can see, qualifying is going to be sunny, which is very good. And the race conditions will be cloudy, but as long as it's dry, then we're in with a shout of at least trying to do something. So before I jump into these practice sessions, guys, if you are a new viewer to the channel, then please do hit the subscribe button. Please do hit the notifications bell so you do not miss any future content that will be coming to the channel. If you are enjoying this Road to Glory seasons here at Williams Racing, then please do leave a like on this video. If you have any feedback for me, then please don't hesitate to leave it in the comment section below this video. And without further ado, guys, I will jump straight into the practice sessions, and I'll see you again for the short qualifying. Okay guys, so here we are, just about ready to get underway with short qualifying here in Sochi in Russia. Now in all 3 practice sessions we managed to stably out-qualify George Russell, our teammate, by about 0.5 of a second. Our pace brought us into a 19th position in every practice session. So we still have a fair ways to go with the car, guys, before we're as competitive as we would like to be. But I'm hoping for the best here in qualifying. Hopefully I can set us up the best I can for tomorrow's race. So without further ado, guys, let's jump straight out.
It's quiet right now. Let's get out on track while it's clear.
So let's jump straight out onto the track, guys. See what type of benchmark time we can set. So I'm just going to have a quick look at the car setup here and see if I'm using my Russia setup, which is here. So let's jump straight out onto the track, guys, and let's see what type of time we can set. I was setting around a 1:37.5 in practice 3, which was my quickest time. So hopefully we can better that in qualifying here.
Engine fired, we're set.
So as I said, guys, before we started this episode here, there's only 5 episodes left in season 1. So the main aim now for the rest of this season is just to get as many practice points as we can on the board. Try and get as many upgrades on the car as we possibly can for next season, so we're as competitive as we possibly can be. So, like I always do, guys, nice and easy here on the outlap. Don't want any unnecessary damage to the car. Now Sochi is a very wide, free-flowing track, and what I did notice in practice is it's kind of difficult to get through the track without getting penalised for going off the track. You don't really have to go that far off the track before you get penalised. Oh, as I go pretty wide off the track there. So hopefully I can set us up in a decent position for tomorrow's race, guys. And hopefully we can pick the right race strategy for tomorrow, as there is no rain in sight. Hopefully we can pick a nice dry setup here and stay out of trouble like we weren't able to do in the previous episode. In the rain, we managed to collide with Carlos Sainz, and we never really recovered from that, really. So here we go, guys. 2 more corners left before we start our first flying lap here around Sochi. So penultimate corner here, and away we go for a hot lap here, guys. So hopefully we can set a decent time here. It gives us something nice to build on throughout the rest of the session. So you want to try and stay as close to this curve as possible and try and stay off the curve if you possibly can. The second you get around this corner here, you want to be straight back on the power. As I lock up there going into this corner here. Hopefully that didn't cost us too much time. But that did, as I run very wide here. So this is a sloppy lap here. As Max Verstappen sets the current fastest lap with a 1:33. His personal best in practice 3 was a 1:35. So he's already found 2 seconds on his time here. So hopefully we can do similar to Max Verstappen and find a little bit more time. I don't think we'll be able to compete with his times, but if we can knock a second or 2 off our time from free practice, I'll be very pleased with that. I might not do it on this first run here because it has been quite sloppy. But I did manage to knock a second off our practice time, guys. I'm down to a 1:36. My best time in practice 3 was a 1:37.5. So that gives us something to build on throughout the rest of this qualifying session, guys. So hopefully I can find a little bit more pace around this track and time my corners just a little bit better.
We have 2 laps of fuel remaining.
As I could run very, very wide there. And that should cost us a bit of time there. We are still currently about a second up on our delta here. But I run very, very wide there. And I lose a lot of time coming through this final sector here. So this hasn't been the best final sector for us here, guys. But I will finish the lap as we do still have a green delta. So that is us at a 1:36 blank, guys. So I will go back into the pits now, take on a new set of tyres, and I will come back out and try and better our time as best as I possibly can. We are currently sitting in P12 behind our teammate George Russell. So hopefully with a fresh set of tyres we can do something with that, and hopefully I can be a bit more consistent around the track. As Bottas sets a 1:32, which is very, very quick. So I definitely need to try and find some time around here, guys. Be a lot more consistent in the corners. Stop locking up, stop going so wide. As I am losing a lot of time in this third sector by being sloppy.
Confirmed, we'll receive you at
So I will box this lap, guys. take on a new set of soft tyres and jump straight back out onto the track. So my aim is to out-qualify our teammate George Russell. If I can achieve that, then I'll be very, very pleased with the qualifying session that we've had. We are currently down in P19, guys, with a 136.0. So we will have a quick look at the overview when I'm in the pits. See if there's a lot of time between us and the cars ahead. See if it's a possibility that we can maybe gain a place or two here in qualifying. As we're just waiting to get rolled back into the pits, I will change the tyres, we'll have a quick look at the overview, and I'll jump straight back out onto the track and try and improve the time as best I possibly can for tomorrow's race. So let's have a quick look at the overview then here, guys. I'll just change those tyres first. There wasn't that much wear on them, but I'll put on some new softs. And we'll have a quick look here. Valtteri Bottas has the fastest time currently with a 132.7, followed closely by Lewis Hamilton with a 132.8. And then Charles Leclerc is right behind Hamilton.
So far is a 1 minute 36.0
with a 133.1. So let's have a quick look at the times down at the bottom here, guys. So we are currently 3/10 off our teammate George Russell. So I feel like if we are more consistent around the track, and if we don't lock up as much and I don't run as wide as much, then I could possibly find those 3/10. It would be nice to try and get up to our 18th, 17th if we possibly can. So the track is clear at the minute. There's only one car out there.
Information or make certain changes to the car during a pit stop, you can tell me what you want over the radio. Press and hold the radio button to activate the system, and you can either speak the command or select it manually from the radio screen that will appear on the multifunction display. While the radio is active, cycle through command groups with the MFD button.
So as the track is currently clear, guys, I will take this chance to jump straight out onto the track.
Please, car ready to leave.
And hopefully I can find 3/10, if not more, on my second flying lap here at Sochi. And then all it comes down to then, guys, is trying to pick the right race strategy for tomorrow's race. So here we go, guys, on our second warm-up lap here around Sochi. So I'll just take it nice and easy here. I'll try and learn my braking points a little bit better here on this out lap, and hopefully that'll flow into the flying lap that we have here, coming up imminently. So like I said, guys, if you are enjoying this Road to Glory series here at Williams Race Team, then please do leave me a little like on this video. If you have any feedback for me, then please do leave it in the comment section below. If you would like to see anything done differently, then please don't hesitate to leave it in the comment section below, as I want to make this as entertaining and as realistic for you guys as possible. And if you are a new viewer to the channel, and you are enjoying what you're seeing currently, then please do subscribe, please do hit the notifications bell, so you don't miss any further content coming to the channel. As we're coming into the last couple of corners here now, guys, so I'll go up into max fuel mix here. Getting ourselves ready here for our second flying lap here, or it'll be our third, sorry. I did stay out for one more lap in our first run. So here we go. So hopefully I can find 3/10 of a second and get ahead of our teammate George Russell. A little lock up there. And we lose the good time that we had there. We had a positive delta. But that one lock up cost us those 0.3 of a second that we were almost up there. So that's disappointing. So I will look to stay out for one more lap, guys, as I am desperate to improve that time that we currently have. And that, I think, is the lap there, as I run very wide there, coming into the third section again. So this lap time will be invalid. So I will go down to no ERS and try and save a little bit for the next lap. So we go again, guys. Hopefully we can find those 0.3 on this lap, as there is now only 3.5 minutes left in qualifying. So this may be our last chance here, guys, to find those 0.3 of a second. If not, that'll be us starting from P20 in tomorrow's race. A little lock up there, but it wasn't as bad as the lap before. But still very slow through there, as we did lose all our positive delta.
We've only got 2 laps of fuel left.
So it looks like we will be starting from P20 in tomorrow's race, guys. It doesn't look like I'm able to find the time needed. But we currently are well up here, so hopefully I can concentrate through this last sector here. And that's us up to P17, guys. P17. It did not look good after our second sector there, so I will cool down now and let cars pass. No, I won't, because that'll be a yellow flag, so I need to try and keep up some decent speed, but allow them past, as this is my in-lap. So we're currently in P17, guys, for tomorrow's race here at Sochi, which is very pleasing. It did look like it was going to go after our poor second section, but I obviously managed to find the time that we really needed in the third sector, which I'm very, very pleased with. As we currently have a car behind us here, so I'll let him past. But he didn't want to go past, so now he goes up the inside there. I don't think he can make his mind up, to be honest, if he wants to get past me or not.
Pitting this lap then. Come into the pits at the end of this lap.
So hopefully we can stick in P17, guys. That gives us a really good opportunity in tomorrow's race, if we have the right strategy with us, to be able to maybe pick off a position or two. So we'll go into the pits, guys, and if there's time left, we will take up the overview and we'll see where we finish up. If not, we'll have to check it on the final standings after qualifying is finished. So currently sitting in P17 behind Lando Norris and Kimi Räikkönen, who of course only has 5 races left before he hangs up the gloves and boots. Kimi Räikkönen, he will be retiring at the end of the season. So I'm not sure if we will have enough time to have a look at the overview, guys, so we might just have to have a look on the next screen here when the final standings are put up for us to have a look at. So it looks like time, yep, it looks No, we are down P19th, guys, for tomorrow's race.
And with qualifying complete, let's review our top three today. Bottas, Hamilton and Charles Leclerc. Goodbye for now then, but we're really just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
So as you saw there, guys, before the screen switched over, we managed to get ourselves a P19. So I'm very happy with the time we had here. I managed to shave off 2 seconds off our practice times, so I'm very, very pleased with that. We also managed to out-qualify our teammate George Russell in qualifying as well, so he will be starting behind us in tomorrow's Grand Prix. We never know if there's any grid penalties, so hopefully that'll push us up another position or two, but we'll have to see before the start of tomorrow's race. So without further ado, guys, let's jump straight into tomorrow's race.
Welcome along then to Sochi and the Russian Grand Prix, one of 8 cities in the world to play host to both the Olympics and a Formula One race. It's a Grand Prix that's proven difficult to crack for anyone beyond the first 2 rows of the grid in recent years, so let's see if that can change today. Built on the shores of the Black Sea, the Sochi Autodrome is a 3.6-mile tour around some of the venues built for the 2014 Winter Olympic Games. Close barriers may make overtakes more challenging, but with 56% of the lap taken absolutely flat out, we certainly won't be wanting for pure speed. A fitting arena then to do battle at the pinnacle of motorsport. With the Grand Prix nearly upon us, Anthony Davidson is by my side once again to offer his perspective. Can we talk about Mercedes? What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Vettel, Alexander Albon, and Verstappen, Perez, Stroll, Sainz, and Daniel Ricciardo, Giovinazzi, Ocon, Daniel Kvyat, and Norris, Gasly, Raikkonen, Roman Grosjean, and Kevin Magnussen. Jones and George Russell ends our grid lineup. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
So here we are, guys, just about ready for lights out here at Sochi. So let's just have a quick look at the race strategies that we do have available for us here today. We have, the first strategy is 5 laps on the medium compound and then 8 laps on the softer compound. Or we could choose to go 9 laps on the soft compound and then do a 4-lap stint on the hard compound. I think I will opt for the first strategy available. I want to try and stay on the 2 faster compounds if I possibly can. I'll look to take a bit of fuel out of the car so we can be a little bit lighter and hopefully carry a little bit more speed. So without further ado, guys, let's jump straight into the race here at Sochi. So engage the clutch, guys, up into Rich. We will use some overtake off the line. 5 red lights here at Sochi, and it's go, go, go. Not the best start in the world for us here, guys, but we are on the medium compound tyre. Everyone else seems to be on the softer compound tyre, so we'll look to make up some places here coming down to turn 1. We managed to make up 1 place. As George Russell is ahead of us here. As I go very wide into turn 2 and 3. As Magnussen was having a look down the inside there.
We've held position on lap 1. That's not great, but it's not terrible. Stay focused.
So as long as I can stay in and around this pack here, guys, on the slower compound tyre currently, then I will be happy. They are coming in for the hard tyre when they pit. I will be coming in for the faster compound, which is the soft compound. So hopefully that'll help me at the end of the race, being on the faster tyre, that I can make up a few more positions. But we will see how it plays out near the end of the race. As I run very wide again there. So I'm just hoping to keep a hold of this pack here ahead of me here until the pit window rolls around. And then hopefully we can start making some moves. So I think patience will be the key here, guys. So I will use a bit of overtake to try and keep Magnussen behind us and try and catch up on the pack ahead of us. As Magnussen comes down the outside here. Hopefully we can fend him off into turn 1, which we did. As the pack ahead of us is starting to pull away just a little bit on the faster compound tyre. But their grip will be wearing out in a few laps time, whilst my grip will still be very good. As Grosjean Magnussen looks down the outside of us there. So to avoid contact I will let off the power a little bit, but we managed to sneak back through that on the inside. As we are losing ground to our teammates, so I will use some overtake here on this straight. Hopefully we can gain a little bit of ground on our teammate, who's currently 2.5 seconds ahead of us here. As I brake very late going into that corner there. As Bottas sets the fastest lap of a 1:35.9 on lap 2 here, guys.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the softs.
So I do need to use a bit of overtake and a bit of rich to try and keep Magnussen behind me if that's possible down this straight, which looks like it's possible. As I run very, very wide into turn 1 again. As Magnussen will look to have another go at us here. As the gap
from the engine is going to be down slightly. It's showing some minor wear.
The gap is increasing up ahead of us, guys. We're not managing to keep a hold of the pack the way we wanted to. So hopefully I can close that gap when tyre wear comes into the picture here. As I'm a bit afraid that I am a sitting duck for Magnussen, who is on the faster compound tyre, who did have DRS on us here on this straight. So we did have a decent start to the race, guys. We did get up to a P17, but we've been picked off one by one by the cars on the faster compound tyre.
Fuel target is +1.
And we are just outside of DRS zone of Kevin Magnussen, so I will use some rich fuel mix and overtake to try and close the gap just a little bit. As we lock up there into turn 1. This has been a pretty sloppy race from me so far. I need to try and find a bit more consistency if we're going to be able to do anything at all. So hopefully we're within DRS range of Magnussen once we come into the next DRS range here, and he can pull us along the straight. We are currently just outside DRS range of Magnussen. So we won't get DRS on this pass, so I will use overtake and some rich fuel mix to look to close the gap just a little bit. So the first 4 opening laps here have not been very consistent. They've been very sloppy, locking up into corners, going very wide into corners. So I really need to improve my driving here.
Box, we're coming in this lap.
So I will look to stay out 1 more lap, guys, before I go in and put on the soft compound tyre, as I think they will be going in 2 laps after I come out. But I will be on the soft compound tyre when they will be on the hards. As Kevin Magnussen is currently pulling away from us here as I go very wide again. This has been a poor race from me here, guys. Been very, very sloppy. I do apologise.
Our gap to the car in front is 2.3 seconds.
Hopefully we can start gaining a bit more time on the cars ahead on the softer compound tyre. So I will look to stay out 1 more lap, guys, before I go in and put on the soft compound tyre. As the gap to Magnussen is currently 2.5 seconds. So I will look to use some overtake and some rich fuel mix to try and close the gap ever so slightly if I possibly can down this straight. I'll try and not lock up too much into turn 1, which I managed to do. I actually got cleanly in and out of turn 1. So we will be boxing this lap, guys, for the soft compound tyre. So hopefully we'll be able to catch up to a car or 2 on the softer compound. I'm hoping. As the gap up to Kimi Räikkönen in 16th is currently 10 seconds. So hopefully I can gain a position or 2 before this race ends, guys. That is my goal. As I'm not able to catch Magnussen on this compounded tyre. But that's probably my driving. That I'm not consistent enough around this track. So I will go in this lap and box for the soft tyres. And hopefully we can make up some ground on the cars ahead, as they will be coming in to take on the hard compound tyre. So we come in on lap 7 of 13, guys. We are midway through the race.
Go, go, go.
So that was a pretty good stop by the boys there, 2.4 seconds. Not a bad stop at all.
Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
So we currently have 26 seconds up to Magnussen. So we have a lot of making up to do on this lap, guys, before they go in for their pit stop in either this lap or next. So I will be on the fresher soft tyre here, whilst they'll be on very worn soft tyres. So hopefully we can put a bit of pressure on, guys. And if we can't do that, then hopefully we are very, very close when they come out of the pits. So hopefully we can make this an interesting end to this race here in Russia. As we can see there, Carlos Sainz in 16th has went into the pits, same with Ricardo. So it looks like most of the people are going in for their pit stop this lap. Some will go in next lap. So hopefully we're close to them, guys, when they come out of the pits. That is my hope. So we can make this a little bit more interesting for you guys. So I'm not out the back racing on my own.
The car ahead is coming to fit the mediums. Car ahead, now running medium tyres.
So we're currently 12 seconds behind Daniel Ricciardo, almost 13 seconds behind. So hopefully we can make up some time here, guys, if we're lucky. Which will need a very good lap from me here to be able to catch up to the people that are going into the pits this lap. So hopefully I can have a lap without any real major issues. Locking up or going wide. As I go very wide there. So we're not gaining anything on Daniel Ricciardo, who is in a faster car than us. He has opened the gap up now to 3.2 seconds. As we get the message now that George Russell is in the pits as I clip the wall there.
Mind that front wing. It'll need replacing if it takes too much damage. Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
I will look to stay out even though we have a little bit of damage to our front wing. Hopefully that is enough to be able to get us through the race and catch the guys ahead of us. But it does seem like that wing damage is an issue here.
There's 5 laps of fuel remaining.
So our strategy didn't work, guys. We're still out in P20. So we weren't able to take the position away from our teammate. The guys want me into box for a new front wing, but I will try and stay out, even though it probably will cost me time. If I do box now, then I won't catch anybody, so I'll look to stay out as I run very wide again there, into that corner. Downforce is definitely an issue here now, guys. As George Russell is opening the gap to us here, to around 2.8 seconds. It was 2.3 past the pits. As we lock up again here. Downforce is definitely an issue here, guys. Can we nick a spot off Magnussen here? We do. We're currently up to P19. As I get a warning for exceeding track limits there. As I lock up going into turn 1. This downforce is definitely an issue, guys. But we at least made up 1 place here. Hopefully we can catch up to our teammate and make a move on him before the end of the race, but that is seemingly even more unlikely now as he is opening the gap up more and more. And if we can't get into DRS range, then I don't think we'll be able to make an attack on him, as he's just out of range and we're running out of laps.
The car behind has boxed for the mediums. Car behind on the
As
medium
Magnussen
tyre.
is closing the gap behind us here, guys, so hopefully we can hold on to this P19. We are on the faster compound tyre, but we do have issues with our front wing since I clipped the wall. As we lock up again here. Coming into the final sector. This sector I've been very poor in today's race. And yesterday in qualifying, to be honest, even though I did find the time I needed to out-qualify George Russell in the third sector. But George Russell is currently pulling away from us. He's got the gap up to
There's
3.2 seconds.
remaining.
So there's currently 2 laps left, guys. Magnussen does have DRS on us. The gap is closing at a rapid pace. So if I'm lucky, I'll be able to hold on to a P19 here at Sochi. But it will be very difficult with this front wing, because it is making it very difficult to corner properly. And we are entering soon the next DRS zone,
Gap to the car
so I
ahead
feel
is
like we will be a sitting duck here, guys.
3.8 seconds.
As George Russell has managed to open the gap up to 3.9 seconds. So I don't think we'll be making any more places up today. And I'm afraid we will be a sitting duck here for Kevin Magnussen on this next DRS straight. So I will have to use some overtake. Hopefully that is enough to get us down this straight, but I expect him to attack coming down to the end of this straight here. We've just had enough there to fend him off, but there is still 2 laps left, so it will be difficult. As I go very wide again here in the final sector. I do have to apologise for my sloppiness today, guys.
You're losing a small amount of time to the car behind. Keep pushing.
So I will use up the last little bit of overtake we have to try and defend on this straight here. So I'll be extremely happy if we can hold on to this P19. I was hoping to make up more places in the pits, but I obviously gambled on the wrong strategy. I was hoping that maybe being on the softer compound tyre when everyone else was on the mediums and the hards would have helped us out, but we just do not have the pace in the car that we need to be able to gain on the cars ahead of us. As you can see, we're having problems keeping Kevin Magnussen behind us here. That really shows how weak our car is. So I need to use the last little bit of overtake I've got up into Rich. Hopefully it's just enough to hold off on this lap as well, which it looks like it will be. So we are entering the final lap here, guys, just through this last little sector here, and we'll be on our final lap.
We have 2 laps of fuel remaining.
As again, very, very sloppy here on this third sector, losing a lot of time to Magnussen behind us, over a tenth.
This is your final lap of the race.
So I'll use up the last little bit of overtake and the last bit of fuel we have to try and defend off on this DRS straight. Coming down to the first corner here, lock up again. So we are on the final lap, guys. Hopefully we can defend off Magnussen and get ourselves a P19 here in Russia. But he's currently only just over 2 tenths behind us, so it will be difficult, guys. as I look to use up the last little bit of fuel mix and DRS we have defending before we get to the long DRS straight here. So I'm afraid we might just be a sitting duck here, guys. As there was contact there from Magnussen, who will look for the dive bomb there down the inside. So hopefully we can keep it clean here in this last sector and hold him behind us. And across the line to P19, guys.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
I think that was a prime example there, guys. The car we are driving currently now is just too weak to compete.
Another superb Russian Grand Prix comes to an end, and it's a thoroughly deserved victory. Talk to me, Ant. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, I know it's a bit of a boring answer, but the truth is they simply had the best speed package on the day, and a driver who knows how to take advantage of that. It doesn't matter how much time you spend poring over the stats and planning strategies if you can't keep the pace, and our winner today showed they could do both.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. More points for Valtteri Bottas, further solidifying his lead at the top of the table. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for Driver of the Day?
I have to say Sebastian Vettel certainly caught my eye during today's race. Incredible driving. I know that's at odds with the official decision, but I think they deserve some recognition on a day where both of these drivers are at the top of their game.
Let's move on to the Constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
So here it is, guys, confirmation of how the race finished. We did manage to hold Kevin Magnussen behind us there for the last 3 laps. But I think that was a pretty solid statement, showing us that our car is too weak to be able to compete with the teams ahead of us. So we are in desperate need of more upgrades on the car for next season to be a lot more competitive than what we are now. So hopefully that can happen in the last 4 races that remain of the season. We can get as many upgrades on the car as we possibly can. So without further ado, guys, let's jump ahead to the final preview. So there we have it, guys. That was the Sochi Grand Prix in Russia. Another disappointing weekend for us here at Williams Race Team. We just do not have the pace in the car currently to be able to compete and move up over the field like we want to do. I thought that we'll be able to pick off a few more people during pit strategy, but that didn't play out the way we wanted to for a couple of reasons. I was very, very sloppy in that race. My lines, my braking points, I was running wide, locking up. So overall, a very, very disappointing weekend for us there. So I will simulate ahead to the next Grand Prix, which will be in Japan. It will be this at Suzuka. So the next episode will be episode 18, guys, and it will be at Suzuka in Japan. So if you have enjoyed this episode and you are enjoying the series, then please do leave me a like on this video. If you are a new viewer to the channel and you have enjoyed the content that you've seen, then please do subscribe. Please do hit the notifications bell so you do not miss out on any further content coming to the channel. If you have any feedback for me, then please do not hesitate to leave it in the comment section below. All feedback is welcome, so please do so. And I'll see you in the next episode, guys, at Suzuka. So I'll see you then.